Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome. We're live from Leiden with the OWL panel discussion. Thank you for joining us. You can find us in the OWL app or on twitch.tv. And for the next coming hour, me and these four lovely people beside me are going to answer all your burning questions around student life, living in Leiden, living in the Netherlands, and getting all your affairs in order. All right. Hope you're ready for it, because we are. Now I'm going to introduce myself first. My name is Bob. I'm both the partner, the Commissioner of Partners and the Treasurer for this year's OWL Board. You will have seen me online in the word of welcome, and I've been running throughout the city to help the people who are here physically and to make sure that you guys, the online participants as well, have been getting an awesome online program too, of which this is a part. Now I have, like I said, I have four great people by my side, and I'm going to ask them to introduce themselves and tell you guys a bit about themselves. Eugène, could you take the stage?
Please, thank you, Bob. Yes, I'm Eugène van Heijden, and since 2015 I'm the independent, impartial and confidential Ombuds Officer for students. And what's an Ombuds Officer for students? It's someone who you can file your complaints to whenever you feel treated unfairly or that there's something wrong in the way you are someone is approaching you or the information, communication. Whenever you have a complaint, you can directly mail me or contact my secretary, and I will deal with your complaint, as I said, confidentially and with a lot of care, just to improve the quality of the services towards students. That's all.
Yes, please, go ahead.
Yeah, welcome everyone. I'm Ezawa. I'm a sociologist and scholar, but I'm also the diversity officer of the university. As a university, we are committed to diversity and inclusion, which means is we welcome you regardless of your background, and you are, as international students, of course, also an important part of that. But that also means a certain commitment from us as an institution. Having diversity also requires us to do everything possible to make you feel welcome, to make you feel safe. And I myself have the role of advising both the executive board, the faculties, different units about their diversity policy and give it shape. But we also organize a number of activities you might find interesting. We have events. We have a large symposium coming up on 13th of January. We organize trainings, for instance, on consent. And we have a number of student networks. The Afro-Student Association, Space to Talk About Race. We have an LGBT plus network. So we also really hear if you have questions, if you're looking for a community. And we do our best to make you feel welcome. So if you have any questions about diversity, feel free to contact us. And I'm happy to connect you to other people within our community.
Thank you very much. Anna, please
take
it away.
That's up to me. My name is Anna de Keijzer. I work for Student Support Services as the coordinator of the Introduction Weeks, because Student Support Services is, like for everything that surrounds your study. So if you are challenged or if you're looking for something challenging to do, Student Support Services is there for you. And that's why Introduction Weeks is also a part of Student Support Services, because
exactly the very beginning.
Exactly, it's our goal to kind of have this soft landing, soft basing for you in Leiden, so you get to know your city, your study, and your student life. We try to hope your life a bit easier, and also to find some friends. So that's me.
Right.
In a nutshell.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Anna.
Okay. Now it's up to me. Good afternoon. And welcome, everyone. Welcome for the invitation, Bob.
Thank you.
My name is Bob van Eijk, and I'm from Aon. And Aon is one of the world's leading insurance brokers in the world. We do have 500 offices throughout the world, of which 13 in the Netherlands. The head office is in Rotterdam, and one of the special products of Aon in Rotterdam is the insurance package for students. So we have a special package for international students who are studying throughout the world. And, as Anna said, we try to make it a little bit easy for you to understand the difficult situation about the national insurances, the basic health insurance, the liability insurance. So you can always call Aon or send an email to us in the Netherlands, and we do our utmost to answer your questions within a day.
That's our promise. Yes.
Right, that's a very good promise, I'd wager. All right, thank you guys for introducing yourselves. Thank you for being here. So, as you can now see, with these 4 people, we're going to make sure that whether you're around the corner or on the other side of the globe, you're all set to start your studies at Leiden University. Right, so as this is a panel discussion, I have some questions for each and every one of our attendees. And I would like to start with Student Support Services, because, Anna, it's your time to shine now.
To me.
It is up to you first.
All right, line of fire.
Exactly. As our audience consists of students who are going to start their studies, Student Support Services is this large title, it's an umbrella. What kind of services does it all entail?
Really a lot. Like, let's start, for instance, with career services, because we know international students, there are a lot of master students already, a lot of people already thinking about their career after their studies. So we have career services that can really help and take a look at, like, okay, so you're almost done, or you're starting. We have some people that are really early with looking into their career, and then they can go to career services and have a talk about what the future entails for them. Right. They can also help you with that. We, for instance, also have a meeting point, which I'm also very excited about, because this is a place mostly for students with a refugee background. They can contact Meeting Point, and they can help them with specific situations that they might encounter, right. But also to get in touch with other students with a refugee background, which I think is really good. Of course, we have the introduction weeks, which is very important. Also, kind of an umbrella,
definitely
right?
Argue that for sure, but I have a dog in the fight. So.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and we also have, for instance, our student psychologist, which is very important, which has shown to be very important last year due to COVID, where loneliness was a very big theme, unfortunately, for our students. We have student psychologists that can help any student that has any mental health problems to talk with the student psychologist, and they can also help with referring them further to the help they need. And also our study advisors, for instance.
Of course. Yeah.
Those are actually the people you go to first with any issue you have, which does not always have to be an issue, of course, because some students just want to be challenged, for instance, or they have sports, like a lot of sports, so they need some help with, like, how do I kind of go about my year, for instance. Right. So what I have to just want to tell the people that are looking right now, watching this program, is don't wait until you have a problem, or if you have a challenge, or if you need a challenge, but just get in touch already with your study advisor already, because it's always nice that that person already knows you. Sure. You don't have to wait until you have a problem or an issue that you need help with.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that's very good advice, and it goes for the Netherlands in general, I would say. Ask for help. Definitely. Whenever there's something you bump into, or a question that you yourself cannot answer, there are so many lovely people and people willing to help you answer that question. But get in contact.
Don't wait.
Don't wait.
Don't wait.
Exactly, Tom.
Wait, yeah.
Okay, Anna, thank you. That's,
welcome.
I suppose, a very good overview of everything that Leiden University does to help its students. And
I tried my best, Bob.
you tried, and you did, and that was a very good, very good summary. So, as you can see, Leiden University cares about its students. Speaking of caring about students, even when things go wrong, of course, we have Eugène with us, the Independent Ombuds Officer for Students. They can go to you whenever they feel they've been treated unfairly, or whenever an impartial situation arrives. How do students know when they should turn to you instead of, for instance, to their study advisor?
Well, a little bridge with what Anna already said. Often they reach out to me when it's already too late, according to the procedures. And, I'm not a magician, but still I have some authority to look at a reasonable solution for the situation that occurred. And then I will see what can be done. It's for 99% in my involvement is informal. I can talk to every employee of the university, every faculty, every program, so I'm in between all the departments and faculties. And just to, in fact, I'm just a troubleshooter, but with a certain amount of limitation of my influence. I cannot reach out for something that is unreasonable when the student would ask me, I want that all the buildings of the university are painted red. Then I'm saying, well, that's not within my power. So it must be a reasonable appeal on something that is wrong according to the student, and that something should be done. And that's so. I'm not on the side of the student, that I must emphasize. I'm in between the student and the organization of the university. So that's my role.
Gotcha.
In a nutshell.
In a nutshell.
Yeah.
And an important thing to know for starting students. Say they arrive with you at the Ombuds office. So a question that maybe many students will have for these services, do they need to pay for this?
No, it's completely free. And sometimes I may refer to procedures that are not free, but then my role is an advisory one, and I'm not dealing with the matter myself. But all my involvement is free, so that's something to be certain of.
Right, very good to know. Then possibly as a bridge to our next attendee, have you experienced also people who came to you with diversity questions?
Sure, but in that case, I may decide whether I should deal with the issue myself, or should contact, for instance, Aya, who's sitting next to me, and that will depend whether it's. There are several aspects in a complaint, and sometimes diversity is only one of these aspects, and then it depends on the other aspects if I have some work to do as well. So that's. But there has been several occasions that already I have contacted Aya in the past. Yes.
Yeah. As we said, a good bridge to Aya. What are the topics you yourself deal with? How can students reach you, and what do they reach you for?
On the one hand, anyone, student or staff member, can reach out to me, and maybe tagging on to what Eugène just mentioned. So if you have a question, it doesn't have to be a complaint. I can also understand that sometimes it's before it becomes a problem.
For sure.
You can reach out and say, well, there's something I'm not so sure about. Where should I go? So I'm happy to connect you with people. When there are issues arising in the learning environment, often we discover it's not so much an individual issue. And that means the problem is not resolved by consulting an individual student, but I could, for example, then offer a bridge and say, well, should that not be discussed with the community and together find solutions? Because a complaint is one thing, and you should be able to do that. Mm-hmm. But you want to have a safe and inclusive learning environment. I'm here mostly as an advisor. I support all sides, I connect all sides. So what I'm told, I will obviously keep confidential, but it's not my primary role. We have confidential counselors for that. Beyond that, we have a range of activities. First of all, follow us on Instagram. What do you call that? It's LU Diversity from Leiden University Diversity. Right. And there we announce all kinds of events that we are organizing. Also, our student networks or other communities on campus are organizing. So if you're really looking for a community, or, for example, a reading group about something related to diversity, there you can find the information. We also have a blog, for example, where all students are invited to share their experience. It was very interesting during COVID because, we thought, we are all in the same pandemic, but everyone experiences very differently. Mm-hmm. In order to highlight that, we offered people the opportunity to share something, and we also offer always useful resources. So events, information is the main thing, and we also now organize and offer workshops to study associations, student associations about sexually inappropriate behavior, about inclusion, because it really starts with tackling these issues as a community. Mm-hmm. That's probably not everything, but But I start, and maybe I should briefly mention, there's also Fenestra for students with a disability, which is not from our office, but from student support services, where you can ask how you can be supported in your study. We also have the Pop Corners, which offer first-year students advice on studying and finding their feet. So I'm happy to also refer people to the different resources we have on campus.
Of course. And these pop corners, can they find them at the faculties?
Yeah, they're not at all faculties yet, but there's one in Campus The Hague, there's one in the social sciences, and one in the humanities.
Right.
But study advisors are, of course, also there always for you, who can connect you with different kind of courses and communities as well in other faculties.
Right. So plenty of resources available for the new student.
Yeah.
Glad to hear that. Then, of course, not to leave out our fourth panel member. These questions have already covered the topics that you would experience when you are here as a student. But before you come, insurance is one of the biggest topics and maybe one of the biggest speed bumps you will experience when traveling. So, Ton, what does Aon do to smooth over that experience?
Okay, yes, Bob, indeed. It's beside your study and everything among that study. Insurances is a very complicated issue, even for us living in the Netherlands and very well known with the system. It's still difficult, especially for foreign students, because when you are coming to the Netherlands, you have to have a health insurance, and as a student, you can take out a private health insurance. Let me explain that a little bit to you,
Please.
Behind this desk, we all have the national basic health insurance, and it's a very expensive one. The basic insurance is about €100 per month, and we have to have that insurance here in this country. We all have to have it. It's compulsory, but except for students, and that's a funny thing. Foreign students don't have to have the basic health insurance. They can take out a private insurance. And if I say to you that the basic health insurance in the Netherlands is around €100 per month, the student insurance is €50 per month. So it's less expensive, and it even covers you better than the basic health insurance. So that's, well, kind of call it a privilege for international students. But there is one but. If they start working here in this country, then they also need the basic health insurance. So if you start working, maybe it's too early about start working when probably some of you are already in Leiden. But if you start working, just give us a call and we can give you an advice about what to do with the private health insurance and the mandatory national basic health insurance. We have a whole team at our office, and they speak several languages, and they can give you an advice what to do. Because if you don't call us, or if you don't change the insurance, the authority will send you a fine, and that's a lot of money, a few €1,000 in some cases.
Ouch.
And it's funny, they will send you a letter in Dutch. You have to learn it anyway, but just give us a call and we can give you the right advice, what to do with the fine or what to do with the authority, or most important, what you can do with your insurances. Well,
Right.
yeah.
Is that also why the insurances are €50? Because the fines balance it out? Or not?
No. I don't think so. I don't think so. We are insuring international students throughout the world. We already have thousands and thousands of students covered, and it's a healthy group.
Yeah.
That's why it's €50.
Well,
So if you not don't claim, because if you send in many claims, that will increase the premium, of course. No, that's a joke. Yes, it will. But okay. Yeah.
so Ton, you cannot cover all four of us as international students.
No,
as well with your influence?
No. And be sure we are jealous, Bob, as well. But we're not international students. Maybe we have to go abroad and then come back. Well, okay. No.
We could try that one.
Yeah.
All right. So to specify this one a little bit more, you said the Aon International Student Insurance. It's an official partner of Leiden University, so it is the insurance recommended by Leiden University.
Yeah.
And B, it might be good to know what exactly it covers, because you said it covers more than the standard Dutch health insurance.
Yeah.
But what exactly can students expect?
Okay. It has a variety of insurance coverages. Legal aid, for instance, when you have some legal problems in this country. An extra air travel insurance, when you have to go home because of serious illness or even death of some of your family members, then we pay your return ticket. Go to your home and travel back to the Netherlands. A personal liability insurance, if you cause some damage here in this country, it's covered up to 1.2 million euro per year. But okay, be careful, of course. We have a household content insurance. We have a travel insurance when you travel around the world. But the most important part of the insurance package is, of course, the health insurance. And we always say the health insurance and the liability insurance are by far the most important coverages. The health insurance, Bob, covers almost everything. Almost everything. And with everything, I mean your GP, your family doctor, medicines, hospitalization, ambulances, name it, it's insured. Yeah.
Well, and if you decide to have the complete package, how much will it cost for a student?
Eugène, the complete package is €53 per month.
That's not very much.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Okay.
But then you have to study. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Then you have to study. Yes, and for those who are coming from the EU or the EER countries, they are probably in the possession of a European health insurance card. We have a top plus coverage. That means that our health insurance is a top-up on their basic health insurance from their country. And then the premium is even €25 per month.
So,
yes. Yeah.
Oh. Okay, that's very good to know. Thanks, Tom.
Yes.
Okay, so just as a little intermission, I still have some more questions for our amazing attendees. But if you have any questions, dear all participant, make sure to ask them in the chat. We have our coordination team following along and writing it down. And at some point, maybe in 5 to 10 minutes, they're going to slip me a couple of notes with all your questions on. So don't hold back. Ask us all you want to know, and we'll make sure to answer your questions live here in this session. Now that we're on the topic of health, of healthcare, of mental health care, of welfare, basically student welfare, Anna already spoke about the student psychologists. How can one reach these student psychologists? Where do they need to go?
Well, very easily. Actually, everything you want to find, you can find on the website of Student Support Services. And actually, if you need anything, if you have a problem, you can call the phone number of Student Support Services. It's just on the website. Normally, you can go to your study advisor and say that you are in need of a student psychologist, but the student psychologists also have their own webpage, so you can also contact them directly. What I just want to say is that there is an array of roads you can walk, and there's never a wrong one, because as Aya was already saying as well, we can find each other very easily. So don't be scared if you knock on the wrong door, because it's not the wrong door. That person can redirect you to the perfect colleague for you. So yeah, a lot of ways. Directly, student psychologists through the website, the phone number of Student Support Services, your study advisor, and any other door.
Any other door that you might find.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And we have a lot of doors. Yeah.
We have a lot of doors. A corridor full of doors. Okay, that is very good to know. And just as with Eugène, I take it these services are free of charge.
Of course, definitely, yes. Yeah.
And offered as on the Leiden campus as on the Heijden campus. I think that's...
Yes. Yes.
It's also in my case. Sometimes I travel to the Heijden.
A little excursion.
It's not that far away.
It's not far away, no.
So Aya, the Diversity and Inclusivity Office, are they also represented on the Heijden campus?
Yes and no. I work for the university on the central level. So my own office is here actually right across from Plexus. But by now we do have diversity coordinators in different faculties. So the Faculty for Governance and Global Affairs in The Hague, they do have a diversity coordinator, Susanne Deen, who can, as myself, be a contact for all kinds of things she's organizing in her faculty. She actually also serves the law faculty. The humanities has a diversity coordinator, and so there are also contact points on the faculty level. Many study programs also have diversity committees, which is easier because then, it's someone you know, maybe one of your teachers. So also here, feel free to go through the community where you study, and they can reach out to the faculty level or to myself. So it's a growing community, and so you should be able to find people to talk to in all units.
Okay, that's very good to hear. And in your opening talk, you also spoke about student communities, different student communities serving different aspects of the diversity and inclusivity topic, basically. Could you introduce those a little bit for us?
Yes, there are several networks we directly sponsor. Starting, I guess alphabetically, is the Afro Student Association. These are students, Dutch and international, with an Afro background. They've organized safe space meetings in the sense that there are certain issues that you do face that you might not otherwise face if you have an Afro background, but they also organized events and parties. That was before Corona, but they also had a very successful, I think, Zumba party and podcasts during online. So yeah, it's students, it's
they found a way.
Yeah, space to talk about race. They've done a lot of reading groups, deepening your understanding out there. An intersectional feminist group talking about race. The LGBT network consists both of students and staff. They've, I think, been quite present in the different introduction weeks. They've helped, for instance, last year to launch our new Pride flag, the Progress Pride flag, which you will see hanging from the main faculty and academic building on Coming Out Day on 11th of October. And I forgot to mention we have MENA, the Middle East and North Africa Student Association. They are more about events. Anyone can come, doesn't matter where you're from, if you have questions interested in the region. And we have the Access and Support platform of students and staff with a disability. But again, everyone just landed. They just got their new board. So they'll be introducing and announcing themselves on our Instagram page. So please follow them for the events that they will be organizing.
Right. I suppose that's a very good advice to follow the Diversity and Inclusivity Office on Instagram. What was the Instagram handle again?
That is LU Diversity.
Right.
But you can also find it on our website. So if you just Google Diversity Office Leiden, you can see for the main networks also a page where you can find more information about them. And beyond these very specific networks, there are a number of networks also on the faculty level. So unfortunately, I can't mention all of them. Right. But you will find information there, and we can refer you to them as well.
Okay. Very glad to hear that. So also for those playing at home, many of the networks that Aya just mentioned are also findable in the OWL app. So everything is aggregated there for your convenience and your perusal. I have one or two more questions for our attendees, and then we're going to go to the audience questions. I have a CT member who's raring to go with your audience questions, so no worries. Yeah. Exactly. We're going to come back to those in a bit, so stay tuned. I have a question specifically again for Ton.
Okay.
We've been speaking about insurance and international students and basically all that entails. And it mainly seems to cover people who are starting their entire studies here, their bachelor's or their master's studies. How does this work for exchange students specifically?
It's the same for exchange students. As long as they are studying and as long as they are doing an internship, then you can keep the Aon student insurance. So you have to remember one thing: you simply have to study.
Right.
Wherever, it's a full-time study, not a one hour a year study. It's full-time study, and then you can apply for the student insurance.
Yeah. Right. Good answer. Would you also say that for someone who's coming to Leiden for 5 to 6 months on an exchange, that it's still worthwhile to get?
Yes, yeah. And it's a very good one because you can apply anytime, any day. You can change or you can cancel the insurance anytime, any day. And if you have paid for 1 month and you would like to cancel the insurance after 14 days, we only charge you the 14 days. So no rip-off. No.
Glad to hear that. That's, I suppose, the best tagline for an insurer, no rip-off.
Exactly.
Okay. And you used as the tagline as well, just call us. Do you have a phone number for them that they could call? Do you?
No, we don't. Yes, of course we have.
Well,
yes.
Very good. Please share it.
No. Of course we do have a telephone number. Even for the insurance, we have a 24/7 alarm center. But that's obviously for emergency situations only. But yes, we do have a telephone number. But the best thing to do, just send an email with your question or whatever. And that's a very simple one. It's info@aonstudentinsurance.com. So info@aonstudentinsurance.
Within a day, they will.
Well, that's a nasty question. Yes, well, we do have waves, We do have waves. At the end of the year, we receive thousands of medical claims because some students are collecting those claims. And, if it's not directly paid between the medical supplier and us and Aon as insurer, they are collecting their claims. And at the end of the year, they send it in. And then that's we call it a wave, and then it will be not in 1 day, within a week. Is that okay?
That's okay.
Yeah, all right, great.
All right, then turning to Eugène once more.
Within a day? No.
Within a day. Well, within a minute, I would hope.
Yeah.
So you've told us a little bit about what you do, how you work, and how you interlace with all the different departments of the university. But could you tell us a bit more in detail how a procedure would go if a student comes to you, and how would you help them?
Yeah. Well, as I already said, it's not a real formal procedure. It's more or less sending me an email. It's very simple email address, ombudsfunctionaris@leidenuniv.nl. And then I'm the only one that's reading this mailbox. That's important to say because a lot of students have a certain, they're not feeling very safe to to send emails to someone, to an office, and who will read their confidential complaint and what will happen. So that's important to say. I'm the only one who's reading this email. That also puts a rather large responsibility on me to reply within, reasonable term. Normally, I only work 3 days a week for the Leiden University as Ombuds Officer, independent, and Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. But mostly, I will reply within 2 days. So that's for me a normal reply term. And what will happen in every at every complaint, I will make suggestions to the student who is complaining that I will have a certain approach to this complaint, and who I want to reach out to ask for a certain reaction by the university or by service or whatever. The student has to grant me her or his consent to do so, because it's a confidential procedure. So when a student is sending me a complaint, nothing will happen until the student is agreeing with the fact that I'm willing to do something with the complaint. I may also decide to refer the complaint to a more formal procedure. And that's, for example, when it's about grading, I have no authority, and I should have. In fact, I should know every program in Leiden, and to say something about grading. No, I have a legal background, but in most other programs, I stay away from grading and saying something about it. There are formal procedures for that. So every student who sends me an email will get a reply. Or I will do with it myself, or I will refer to a most appropriate procedure. So that's, and yes, confidential. And my preferred approach is mediating, troubleshooting, and not leading to a formal investigation. But I still have this authority. When something is very wrong, I can start a formal procedure and report to the executive board of the Leiden University. So, but that only happens once not even once a year. So that's very rare.
In that example, is your opinion binding for the people involved?
No,
or
no. Well, it's more or less. I'm not a judge. It's not really arbitration, as you may call it, but it's it's a very honest advice on what, in my opinion, is reasonable or not.
Exactly, and it should be a little bit ridiculous if they put it aside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can do recommendations to the faculty board or to the executive board. So, and every year I have an annual report. I write an annual report also with conclusions about my complaint treatment and recommendations to gather some of the main topics that happened last year.
Okay, very good. So actually, it's a very human process.
Yes, by a human person. So,
So I can imagine when you're starting your studies at this big institution, it's good to know that there is a person behind all these email boxes.
About complaints by students, they often say, especially there are more than 30,000 students now at the Leiden University. Sometimes a complaint that is often heard is that they lack a certain personal approach. And I cannot completely cover this lack of personal approach, but in fact, there is always a way to get someone. Also at student support services, you can always reach out to someone who who will have personal attention for your problem.
Right. Well, that's a very good thing.
Also, diversity offers a lot of services. So,
we're very well covered. Yes. Okay. Thank you guys very much. And I suppose this is the starting shot to open the floor to your questions. So I have a coordination team member here ready with a sheet filled with questions. Look at that. Awesome. Feel free to keep on sending them in. We're going to try to answer them for as long as we can. So use this opportunity. Okay. The first question is, what is the email for the advisors on masters and the future? So what email address would you need to email to for advice on your master's studies or the very future? Anna, could you maybe answer that question for us?
Well, that really depens on your faculty. Am I right, Aya? So it really depends on the faculty where you're studying, because every master's is also embedded in a faculty. So really take a look at the website of your faculty to see who your study advisor is. And there you can also find the email address that you need.
Right, very good. And how would the career service factor into this? How would the career service that Leiden University has factor into this? Because the question also covers the future.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, no, career services has their own website, and they just had this, kind of interior design kind of thing on their website going on. It looks really great, and they even that's a tool I want to try as well, just to make sure if it works, of course. But they have this tool where you can also, have this click route on what your best options are career-wise. So that sounds really interesting.
Decision tree.
Yeah, so they have a beautiful website, yeah.
Okay, so the answer is look at the website for your faculty and look at career service if you're particularly interested about the future beyond your master's studies.
Yeah, so just type in career services Leiden University and you'll definitely find it. Yeah.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Anna. Then I have a question for Ton.
Yeah.
This person would like to know, this AL participant needs regular medication for a pre-existing condition. Would those be covered by the AHIC? The Aon site mentions that it doesn't cover pre-existing illnesses. How does that work?
Yeah, that's not a difficult issue here in the Netherlands. I'm working with the European Health Insurance cards. Basically, the European Health Insurance card covers you throughout Europe for accidental things. Not for things, the pre-existing things. because only emergency things are insured, and sometimes you still have to wait until you're back home to get your visit to your GP or your specialist, or to get new medicines. So that's why we strongly advise, even if you are in the possession of a European health insurance card, to take out the plus coverage. It's not that much money. Again, it's €25, including all the other coverages. And then you're quite certain that everything is covered regarding the health. Concerning the pre-existing matters, the Aon Student Insurance, if you apply, it's medical disregarded. So pre-existing things are covered. And another thing I would like to mention is our system in the Netherlands is as follows. Almost for everything you do need a GP. So for a referral to a specialist, referral to a hospital, referral to whatever, you do need to see your general practitioner. If you don't see your a general practitioner and you go to a hospital, they won't help you. So that's very important in our Dutch system. Yeah.
How about dental care? Are there limitations for the?
Yeah. There's only a cover for accident dental care, €350 per year as a maximum, and the regular checkups are not covered. There are separate dental insurances in the Netherlands, but they are very expensive, and they're always limited. They're always limited.
It's also for Dutch insurance.
That's also for us as Dutch citizens. Yeah. It's yes, you can take out a separate dental insurance. You have to send bite-wing photos to the insurance company, because many people who are applying for the dental insurance do need dental help. Mm-hmm. That's why they would like to take out an insurance.
Yeah, of course.
It's expensive. We don't advise it, and it's a small amount, €350, but that will cover an accident. Yeah. And it's even more when teeth are damaged by an accident. Yeah. Then we lift up the cover. Yeah.
And if you need a dentist or a general practitioner, you can always call Student Support Services, because they can refer you to one that is good for international students because of...
That's a good thing. Because sometimes it's very hard to get a GP in the Netherlands. We say, okay, go to Google and type in huisarts, the Dutch
English
word.
Friendly.
And English friendly. We do speak English. And Leiden. Yeah. And then you can find a bunch of GPs.
Yeah, no, we do have a list also for The Hague and also Leiden. So that's
okay.
Yeah. Great. So that's another thing Leiden University covers.
Right.
Great. Awesome. Then, Ton, one more question for you. You're now going to have to put on your customer support hat, I suppose, because one of our AL participants has a question, and they said they applied for the complete package, and their online invoice listed €89 instead of 53. They've been trying to contact Aon Support, but haven't so far got through. Do you have any tips for them?
Yeah, well, yes, send an email. Mention that I advised you to send an email. The guy from Aon in Leiden, and they will contact me when I'm back at the office, and then I will speed up the procedure. Basically, the insurance is €53 per month. But if you applied for the insurance at the 15th, the prior month, I don't know. I have to check it. Yeah.
So your answer is email once again and mention
yes, please.
Your name, so Ton Beijk in the email,
right.
And you will help them along. Okay, great. Yes. Thank you very much, Tom.
Mm-hmm.
Then this is a question that doesn't really cover any of our expertises as such, but it does cover living in Leiden, living in the Netherlands.
Exciting.
So any takers for this question? And the question is there a student train ticket? For example, a monthly subscription, and how does one apply for that?
Yeah, there are a lot, right? But that's, like we can refer you again to then NS, ns.nl. They also have a good English website, and there are like the Dutchies, they love their rails, they love their trains. We have a lot of public transport, so also for buses. And we have a lot of enrollments on subscriptions, which is sometimes 40% if you're not like in the peak hours, to indeed student subscriptions as well. But I'm not entirely sure how that works for international students. But I think if you are enrolled at a Dutch university, you can get the subscription.
Oh, yeah.
Sort of just speaking as a regular citizen, one thing maybe basically coming from the outside, you need a so-called OV chip card.
Exactly. Yeah.
But with that card, it does a little magic, so you can get on a train by checking in, checking out. You can get onto buses, because I understand what's really tricky when you come here is a lot of the offices don't accept Visa or credit cards.
There it is.
Yeah.
We have an
But
example.
you can load the card with money.
Exactly. Yeah.
And that way you don't have to worry about tickets. But I assume you can also, for now, if order them online before you have such a card. So that card costs, I think, €7, but I think you get it back if you return it. So that is highly recommended. And they definitely have subscriptions specifically for students with a heavy discount. So I highly recommend it.
We are working with debit cards in the public traffic nowadays.
Yeah.
It's very easy, but you can buy a single train ticket when you're arriving in at the airport, or even online.
And there are machines also.
Yeah.
So there's a little setback for international students. Sometimes they suspect that there's free public transport in between Leiden and The Hague. But in fact,
you can give it a try, but no.
Because they say, well, it's one campus, one university, so why isn't there any free transport? But that's not within the policy of the university to arrange for this free transport.
No.
Right. So I think it's good advice to look at the website of the Dutch railway operator, the Nederlandse Spoorwegen, ns.nl, and to get yourself, as Aya said, an OV chip card. You can order them, I believe, even via the National Railway Service. Yeah. And you can load all sorts of discount plans on there, depending on what you need. It could be indeed what Anna said, 40% discount in the off hours, or even discount on a very specific track. So if you need to go between Leiden and The Hague a lot, you can order a specific discount for those specific tracks, and that will definitely help you out.
And correct me if I'm wrong, it's better to make it personalized, right? Because you have the anonymous cards, but also the personalized ones, and you can
almost in every shop you can buy the anonymous one, but
But it's better to have the personalized one, because then you can put like things on. Yeah. Even the OV bikes, which I really love. You can get a rental bike at every train station if you put that subscription on there, and you can just bike away.
Yeah, what is it, €2.50 or €5 per day?
Yeah, $3.50 or something. It's nothing.
It's nothing.
Really good resource to have.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So have a look at the website of the Dutch railway operator, ns.nl, and all your questions will be answered there. Just beware, the discount plan that you get via the train operator does usually not cover travel via trams or buses.
Nope.
So you would have to check the local operators. I believe for Leiden it's Arriva, if I'm not mistaken. And for The Hague it's HTM. HTM, yes. Yeah. Of course, there I believe are also discount plans available, but you would have to look at their own websites. For Leiden, so that's Arriva, and for The Hague it's HTM. Okay, then I have one last question here, which once again doesn't cover any of our expertises per se, but it's someone who would like to follow language classes or follow different classes next to their their bachelor studies. At the moment, they say that's not possible due to enrollment because it hasn't yet been completed. Where can someone find that information on how to enroll for extra classes or language classes?
Well, I think this is a beautiful example of a question that you can go to your study advisor with, because this is specific to your personal situation and to your study situation, and this is why we have the study advisors, because they will definitely really look at like how your study life is. I'm just lost for words. So beautiful.
Right.
No, your study advisor will look at your specific situation, and based on that, I definitely think it's possible to also look at extra classes, extra language classes.
Like the honors programs, for the excellent students.
That's a good one to mention.
Yeah.
If you would like some extra challenge next to your studies, bachelor students can look at the Honors College, and they're also represented in the app. And master students can have a look at the International Leiden Leadership Program, which is also represented in the OWL app. Yes, I see a few more questions. We're going to answer those, and then it's our time to sign off. So Tim, thank you very much indeed. Okay, so these ones are as follows. Of course, when you come to study at Leiden University, you get a student card. You actually get two. You get your college card, which is specifically your proof of payment, the fact that you are enrolled this year at Leiden University. And you have to request your LU card. Your LU card is your campus card and allows you to print or grants you access to the library, for instance. So one of our participants has a question. How and when will they receive this card? Anna, do you have an answer for them?
Oh, you can always call Student Support Services for that answer. When you receive it, this happens as fast as possible because you put all your information online, of course, and then you either get it by mail or if you have any trouble, you can also go to Plexus, where we are right now. Also just ask how it's going, because we have also like a LU card booth.
Yeah, the booth, yes. LU card. Like the Student Center and Beehive in The Hague.
You can even take your picture over there, which is great. So if there are any problems with, like if you feel that the card is delayed or something like that, please contact Student Support Services. Yeah.
Right. Very good. Then one last question for Todd. Our participant would like to know if it's relevant for them to sign up for student insurance if they're covered by their parents' global insurance policy.
No, not. No. Why should you? Why should you? No, double insurance doesn't mean that you can claim twice for the same issue, but you have to be careful. Because almost everyone has a worldwide coverage. But that's mostly, or quite often, maximized a certain period. So no longer than 6 months or no longer than 3 months. So you have to check that very carefully. No, but then you don't need it. Then you can take out the student insurance without the medical part. Yeah,
right.
Without the medical
liability
part.
and
liability, extra travel, baggage, and so on. So you can take out the student, if you would like, you can take out the student insurance without the medical part. That's possible.
Okay.
Yeah. But check it, please.
Right. Very good tip there. Check your coverage.
Exactly.
A, before you buy, and B, before you travel.
Right.
Okay, then we have answered, I believe, all your questions, and my amazing panel members have also answered all my questions. So what we're now going to do is we're going to sign off, but we're not going to do that by simply saying goodbye. I am going to ask all my dear panel members to provide you with a tip from their side for your studies here in Leiden. So, Eugène, do you have any tips for our participants?
Well, one advice, just put your trust in all the services that are offered, and don't be afraid to ask for help whenever a situation occurs that you feel uncomfortable with. So that's my advice for you.
Right. Aya.
I think we have an amazing student community. We have very active study associations. You undoubtedly will be part of a study. They organize great activities, but they're also really caring as well. So I very much advise that, or one of our university-wide networks that I mentioned before. They're really here to offer your community. I know this is really difficult in a pandemic, so just reach out, and I'm sure they will welcome you.
Yeah, and adding to that, there are a lot of Dutch sports associations that are also really welcoming to international students. So try and take on a sport. And I just want to say that we have a lot of services we can offer, but it is important that you take the first step. So that's my tip.
All right.
Yeah. Well, my advice is just please see the city. It's a great place to be, Leiden. It's a great place to be, but no, more important, ask. Don't be afraid. Ask. We can refer you to someone else if we don't know it, and they can refer you to someone else. But ask. Don't be afraid. We don't eat people. Yeah.
No, we don't, indeed.
No, right.
And
exactly.
on that bombshell. Yeah. Yes. Okay. One last thing, specifically for Tom.
Yeah.
I was told by one of your colleagues that Aon is organizing some online seminars for international students to ask their questions.
Yeah.
Do you have some information on those, where our participants could
Not
join these?
really. We are giving webinars through the whole month of September.
Right.
I don't have the list with me. Yesterday we gave 2 seminars for the Amsterdam University, but that's similar. Contact the office and they will tell you where the next webinars are.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Then I suppose one last thing to say is have a look at the OWL app. In the event page for the live stream you're currently watching, all 4 organizations, we have the humans with us, but the organizations are linked within the event page. So if you have any further questions or would like to know anything else, go there. Then a last thing for me to say is thank you all very much for joining me here today, here live from Leiden, to answer all the questions of our all participants. And thank you all for watching. We wish you all the very best with your studies here in Leiden. And to say that once again, if you have any trouble, if you run into anything, contact any of us, contact anyone at the university. They can help you and they will help you. They're all here for you. So then in that case, thank you for watching. And we hope to see you later during the OWL week for all our further events. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.